Hello everyone, this is JPL, and today I'm back for another episode comparison. Now last week's episode was blocked by Disney, so that took a while. That was why you weren't able to see it last week, but now the episode is unblocked, so you can go catch it at any point, see what my thoughts are, and see how last week's episode was different from the official release. It's also important to point out that when last week's episode was blocked by almost everyone, it became apparent to Disney that the unfinished episodes of the Clone Wars were on YouTube. And so for this week, they blocked those episodes as well, which is a pain. It sucks, but it's what they did. And that's what we use for this material. Luckily for me, I thought ahead for the next few weeks, and so I got the material I needed when the first episode came out. And so now we're working with what we have left. Now every week when I watch the episode, I will also watch the next week's unfinished reel to get me excited for what's going to come, to give me an idea about what was set there before, so that when I watch the episode, I can automatically tell what's different. And so for this week, I could tell from the unfinished episode that the pacing was a bit off with the Wat Tambor scenes. And so my thoughts were, okay, they're going to have to completely rework those scenes. Well, they did. They just cut those scenes, which actually this is the shortest episode of the Clone Wars to exist. If I really think about it, it's possibly the shortest episode of all the animated shows, Rebels and Resistance combined. And I think a general census of this episode is that it's the least best episode so far. And so that makes sense. It's my least favorite so far as well. However, if I were to watch this episode in the complete arc with all 4 episodes, I wouldn't mind it as well because I'm watching the full story. This episode here is kind of like a transition, an in-between between the last one and the next one. It's a way to get us there. Now let's take a look at On the Wings of the Keeradaks. Now, again, the obvious difference between the two is the opening crawl.
On an unsanctioned mission to rescue ARC Trooper Echo, General Skywalker, Captain Rex, and the Bad Batch travel to Skako Minor, headquarters of the Techno Union. After a harrowing encounter with the natives, our heroes infiltrate the city of Burkle, only to find themselves surrounded by Wat Tambor's forces. Trapped on an unsanctioned mission to rescue ARC Trooper Echo, General Skywalker, Captain Rex, and the Bad Batch travel to Skako Minor, headquarters of the Techno Union. After a harrowing encounter with the natives, our heroes infiltrate the city of Burkle, only to find themselves surrounded by Wat Tambor's forces. There's a different theme that they have, and this week it's less noticeably different. The voice sounds standard and normal. The only issue is that for some reason the visuals just cannot get a proper deal. They keep doing this weird crossfade where they bring up a clip and they don't bring it up fully, and it's only there for half a second. And it's like, what's that there for? It's improper and it's not well done. Besides that, the first thing that's cut or different is there's a joke that Hunter has, which I didn't think was a very good joke. Anakin was asking a yes or no question, and the Hunter was like, does something eat their babies or something? And it's like, okay, they cut that, it's fine, but let's move on.
Hunter, can you guys finish this up?
Does a Weigel eat its young?
I'll, take that as a yes.
Hunter, hold them off. I'll check on Rex and Echo.
So the big only difference in this episode is that there's no brand new scenes to have here. They just cut scenes in this one. And so...
Alright, listen up. Help's not coming after all. We're on our own. So let's move out.
Problem. Echo cannot be moved.
You still haven't cracked that interface?
Of course I cracked the interface. But now it appears its autonomic functions, respiratory, pulmonary, you name it, they're all controlled by computer-generated brainwaves. Until I create a bypass, Echo cannot be unplugged.
Alright. I'll try to buy some time.
the biggest cutscene is this one right here with Wat Tambor, where Wat Tambor shows off the Decimator and exactly how it works on one of the primitives.
Status report.
The intruders are trapped in the core system room. There is no escape.
Prepare the organic decimator.
Tambor.
If you are calling to beg for your release, Skywalker, you are wasting your time. And mine.
I don't beg, Tambor, but I'll bargain.
We don't want your credits. That clone was purchased from the Separatists after its capture. It is a research tool and legal property of the Techno-Union. Now, honor the neutrality your Senate provided us and surrender at once.
Your neutrality is a joke. You're working for the Separatists.
The organic decimator is ready, sir.
Excellent. I will show you, Skywalker, why neutrality in this war is more lucrative for the Techno-Union. Bring in a test subject. We develop many technologies here, and we offer them to the highest bidder. As you are about to see, the organic decimator will make a great weapon for a droid army to use against clones.
Stop! You can't!
Oh, but I can. The Techno-Union owns everything on this planet, including the primitives. Activate the decimator. The energy tentacles seek out organic matter. When one of them finds its target, the rest zero in and all organic tissues are vaporized. You can surrender, Skywalker, or you can be my next test subject. The choice is yours.
Basically, what they were trying to do was to show off, hey, we may be neutral, but you can't touch us. We own these people. We own the planet. And, you know, that's how their neutrality just doesn't work, because they're technically not neutral, both in the sense that they're helping the Separatists and they're also hurting other neutral creatures. But, you know, when watching that episode, it's also like, it's understandable why they cut it. It doesn't work with the pace, and it doesn't exactly need to be explained. But I think it was really cool to actually see Wat Tambor mistreats the primitives, and actually having being able to see the decimator in work is really cool. Instead, now we just see the decimator not do anything. We see their tentacles, but we don't really see them decimate anything. Another big difference is that when Echo reveals that there's a hatch that's up there, in the unfinished episode, text like, that wasn't in the schematics, and then there's this whole bit where it's like, yeah, I've been plugged in, I can see things, and whatnot. Which I thought, why was that cut? Well, the reason why that was cut, because they kind of repeat the same scene in a later scene. Almost the same thing where they explain, yeah, I knew this because I was plugged in. Makes sense why they cut it, but, you know, it works.
There's an exhaust vent that leads to the cooling systems. Right there. I didn't see that on the schematics. Well, don't forget, I've been plugged into this thing for a while. There's an exhaust vent that leads to the cooling systems. Right there.
This ventilation corridor acts as a cooling system for all the computers in the facility.
How did you know it was up here, Echo?
Well, they got access to my memory, but I got access to the Techno-Union database. All their plans, inventory, building schematics, everything.
You mean you can find us a safe way out of here?
Well, there is a way, but you're not gonna like it.
The next different scene here is when we have Wat Tambor face his exploded items. Beforehand, in the unfinished episode, he is like, "Oh, my machines, my beautiful machines, ruined." And this new one is like, they took it. They ruined years of research. I like the older one better because it's like he loves his machines. This one fits more of the plot of they took Echo, and so it makes sense why they made this change. However, I still also really like the "my machines ruined." I don't know. It's things like that I enjoyed. It helps make Wat Tambor more than just a plot element.
My machines, my beautiful machines, ruined. Years of research gone. Find them. They took it. Techno-Union property. They've ruined years of research. Find them.
So then we move on to the scene where the clones are on this thin rail. There's nothing really different about that. The only difference mainly is that we have Wrecker. He has more dialogue in this one that's just added to make him more afraid of heights instead of just him being more silent in the unfinished ones. It adds to that character. When Tech brings up that he has recorded everything, there was a joke that was made where it's like, Hunter says he records everything, which is in the new episode as well. But the main difference was that Tech would reply, "Of course it's a hobby." And so, I don't know. I like that small joke, but it's cut. I don't know why. It just is.
Anybody got a brilliant idea? I'll take that as a no.
Wait, I do have a brilliant idea. Let's hear it already, Tech! Come on! When the locals attacked us, I recorded the creature's distress call. It records everything. It's a hobby. Yes, a hobby, which allows us to call those flying creatures to us.
Anybody got a brilliant idea?
I do have a brilliant idea. I'm hanging here. When the locals attacked us, I recorded the creature's distress call. It records everything. It's a hobby, which allows us to call those flying creatures to us.
And one thing that's cut from this as well, which I'm not entirely sure why, is where Rex hands Echo a gun, and Echo says, "I'm starting to feel like a soldier again." And that's cut. I'm not sure why. That one doesn't feel like it needed to be cut. If it made sense for the episode, so for it to be cut was just strange and odd. So I don't know what happened there, but I don't know. It happened.
Wait, Echo!
I'm beginning to feel like a trooper again, Rex.
You never stop being one, Echo.
So after this point, there's nothing really different that's in this episode. I don't think there's any more cut dialogues. I don't think there's any more added things. Maybe a couple snippets here or there that's a couple seconds that's not really big enough to talk about. And so I guess we should move on to the very end of the episode. And so the last thing that's different about this episode is the ending, which in the unfinished version, there was just, "Hey, I'm glad to have you back. It'll be just like old times." And it's this happy moment. It's like, yes, I'm back. It'll be like old times. In this new version, what we have is Echo responds this time with, "Yes, just like old times," with this weird look and somber music.
Thank you, Rex, for saving me. Couldn't have done it without you, my friend. It's gonna be just like old times. Rex, thanks for coming after me. That's what brothers do. I'm just sorry it took so long. Hopefully it's gonna be just like old times. Yeah, just like old times.
I don't know what that could entail. But I do get the feeling that there are going to be some differences made in the final episode. I can tell there's going to be some differences made. I don't know what, but it might be some really good stuff. I'm not going to tell you what, but I've been getting the feeling that the Echo character is going to change a bit. And the reason why I say that is because they've been cutting dialogue specifically relating to Echo being a traitor. And I'm just going to give you that. Anyway, that's all I have for this week. Really short episode. Not a lot different in this, which is fine. But hopefully this could be a lot more different. And hopefully this episode doesn't get blocked. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. We'll see you all next time. Bye.